It's been reported right now that there's like 300,000 of these unaccompanied minor children that came across the border, and the government now admitted they have lost contact. Wow. That means they have disappeared into the United States. And we don't know where they are. We don't know what adult they're with. It's cuckoo. It's, first of all, it's totally cuckoo that a 10-year-old kid could get to the border and they're not with a parent or guardian, and that you could let a kid cross the border. First of all, that's kind of crazy. Like, that shouldn't be happening. And that now they've given them to sponsors with absolutely no vetting. In the foster system, they've learned that the foster families can exploit children. A foster family needs to text back and forth and show a photo. Are kids okay? Weekly, monthly.
HHS was giving children to sponsors that were MS-13.
Wow.
Yes, that this whole system, they've admitted now, and there were a dozen of people at HSS that have resigned over this whole matter. That what you're talking about was all the whistleblowers that walked out, and that Hannah Dreier reported on this, and good for her. For
40 kids going to one sponsor.
Yeah, that good thing for her speaking up for the children. Okay, that is a liberal newspaper, and she had the guts to report this and to report about these whistleblowers that walked out of there, and they warned them that this system of giving these kids without vetting to these sponsors could harm the children. However, that very senior people that were involved in caring for the kids in these tent encampments were being were given clear directive that it looked very bad on TV that all these kids were there, and they said, you've got to push them out. We want you to push them out faster. And so there's no check. Nobody ever checked on any kid. Nobody checked. They let these unaccompanied minor children into our country, and they never checked to see if they were okay. It's just crazy.
For the people listening who are like, this is hyper partisan, this conversation is so political. This also happened under Trump. You know, many thousands of children went missing, and his administration said, once they go to their sponsor homes, we have no oversight. We don't check up on them. So it's not just now.
That's right.
It's been going on for quite some time, and no one seems to care. And I don't know how they're going to fix it.
Are you familiar with the story where it was Dr. Phil speaking on, I think it was on The View, right? Where he said that he went down and interviewed Border Patrol, and they said children will come up with numbers on their arms that they know are sex trafficking rings, and they just send them right to these people. Yeah.
When I was in Yuma at the border, there's lettuce farms along the wall on our side, and the farmers will be like, children just walk up, young, 8 years old, with numbers on them, for like what Tim's saying. You just call this number.
Yeah, and then Hannah even reported, you know, she's talked to a lot of these children that some of the children are responsible for paying back the $3,000 to $5,000, and that it's like a loan on their head. So now you've got like little kid indentured servants. So like it's so important. This issue is so important, and so I recognized that it was a big issue, and I said, you know what, I'm going to fund the movie. Now I've realized that I should speak up. So it takes courage. It takes courage for me to say, hey, I'm going to speak up, and I'm going to give a voice to these children that have no voice. Okay? Because if I'm not using my voice, and if you're not using your voice to speak up right now, who's going to speak up for these kids? Okay? The media is not doing it. Yep. Our mainstream media, I mean, go and look on the internet. Who else besides Hannah, who had the guts to report on this issue? Who else has the guts to report on this? The TV isn't, okay?
They'll only do it when it's advantageous to their political side. And even then, it's not full. Like when I say kids in cages, those are Obama's pictures that they're using against Trump. They only do it, they pick and choose how they want to do it when they do it. And right now, because of all the stuff at the border, they're not going to touch it because it makes their side look bad. But it should make everyone look bad because it's been a total failure for many years.
It's scary stuff, man. I'm mostly scared of, you know, I feel like we know the trafficking happens, we know bad stuff happens, but we assume that most people, 99%, 99.9, the people who aren't traffickers or who are exploiting these kids want it to stop. And like with Sound of Freedom, the way the media attacked that film and called it a MAGA conspiracy theory, all this great, are these journalists are they getting paid off by the cartels or what is this? Like, I don't understand what their connection is to it, where they absolutely have to defend this machine. If you're a journalist in New York and you hate Donald Trump and you're writing, Trump is bad, I don't like the man, and someone comes to you and says, would you like to write a piece about how there's sex trafficking on the border? For what reason are they like, I better make that story go away? They hate Trump that much.
Yeah.
That's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
What that means for this country.
I saw Sound of Freedom in the Capitol when McCarthy was still speaker. He invited a bunch of people there, and he said he invited everyone to come watch it. Democrats, not one Democrat was in that room. No one. And because at that point it had been in the headlines as this kind of right-leaning film. There's no politics in that film, but that's what people believe. So they couldn't show up because the second you're in that room, now you're guilty by association, even though it's for a really good cause to help protect children.
We were invited, and I'm a little bit discouraged because we've now been rescheduled. Okay, but we were invited to screen the movie for the Senate and Congress, and it got rescheduled after the Trump assassination hearings took over the big chamber there. But we're really hoping to be able to screen this movie. I'm going to write a speech. Okay, I'm going to try to use my leadership in my own voice. And I would only hope that the left and the right can come together, okay, and to address this issue. And I hope that this movie can inspire people. I hope that politicians on the left and the right will please watch the movie, okay, because it touched me. It made me very emotional after I saw the movie. And the movie is very good. It's an edge of your seat thriller. So it's a thriller. It is a little bit difficult to watch because nobody likes to see children that are beaten. And but the
Maybe some of those journalists, I guess.
Yeah, the director Mohit is incredibly creative. He got an A cinema score, which is very hard to get. Only a handful of other movies received that. We have 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not surprising, a lot of the critics slammed the movie. All the top critics slammed.
What do they say? Like, what is
it was
their
awful? They said it's just a terrible movie that.
Do they bring politics into it into their critiques, or
no? They just said that all of the most popular critics hate the movie.
It is the weirdest thing, I of course saw Sound of Freedom, and I would compare it to like an extended episode of Law and Order SVU or something. Very popular show, been on for decades. It's about a cop who is tracking down trying to save these children and going after the traffickers, and then he does. And I was like, oh, that was fun. Like, that's a good movie, and it's got a strong message, and it highlights this issue, and like Law and Order almost. I mean, there's no court in it in the same way, but I don't understand why the critics are just nope, it's a bad movie, don't watch it. It's strange, and I'm going back to what I was saying before, where it feels like something happened where the collective IQ just like dropped. I don't know what it is. By all means, y'all can figure it out. But how are we at this point where I don't know.
I think lockdowns accelerated mental decline.
But it's even before this.
Yeah.
Like around the time of 2015, 16, sure, the Large Hadron Collider fried the brains of half the population. I have no idea.
Well, that's obvious, yeah.
But now we can see this consistently with movies where the critics are like, it's a bad movie, don't watch. And the fans are like, we like it. Now, this is not, the reason why I find this interesting is the audience scores are real. I mean, these are people who watched the movie and said, yeah, it was a good movie. What is this detachment that these media personalities who are not well-off, wealthy people for the most part, some of them are, but how is it they all collectively say the movie is bad?
I think a lot of them are protecting themselves because a lot of them do these bad things. There was one of the biggest BBC reporters was just arrested for child, imagery, horrible stuff. We had that CNN local reporter, and I forget what state he was in, just the same thing. We were talking about Beetlejuice, the father from Beetlejuice, the original one. He took pictures of underage children.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Jeffrey Jones, maybe.
The actor who played the dad?
Yeah, who moved into the house. Look, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jeffrey Jones is his name. I could be wrong. I think that was in 2002 or 3. I don't think he's in the new Beetlejuice, but I think his character is. But like, this stuff isn't just hiding in the shadows. It's literally everywhere. And it's organized, like the stuff you're talking about with the border, MS-13, Argo. Am I right?
didn't know that about this guy.
Right?
That was 20 years ago.
Is it Jeffrey Jones?
Yeah. He was arrested and he's an offender. Holy crap! This guy's in a ton of movies.
Yeah. Ferris Bueller.
What? He's in Ferris Bueller,
Yeah.
Amadeus, Beetlejuice. Wow, The Crucible, Stuart Little, Dr. Dolittle 2.
Yep. The father from Seventh Heaven. You know, like
What
these people are everywhere. Evil is everywhere. I think that's why a lot of people don't want to do it. Either they want to look away because it's too much to take, or they do this stuff. And they're in every institution at every level.
The reviews from the audience and a lot of the feedback. You know, I'm one of the filmmakers now and a producer and an executive producer on this film, and so I've myself talked to hundreds of people now that have seen the film. Everyone loves the film. As I said, it's a bit hard to watch. This director, by the way, Mohit, I've said he is so creative. I mean, like, he could win an Oscar for this film. It's that good.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry. He was in 33 episodes of Deadwood. This guy who was arrested in 2001, these charges, he provided various voices over 4 episodes of Invader Zim, was on the Zeta Project, Justice League.
A whole career.
He was in Stuart Little, Deadwood for 2 years and 33 episodes. You'd think after something like that, they'd be like, maybe we shouldn't work with this guy and have him around anymore.
No, they like this. Hollywood is messed up, dude. Obviously, it's not everybody, but it's a lot of people.
Yeah,
And it seems to be a lot of people in Hollywood who do it. You know, they're friends with them. They promote it. They put it imagery like it in this. You know, going back and watching certain movies, you see there's a lot of dark stuff for children.